you'd done a lot of coaching, but always a journalist and 34 books. How did that all come about? What was your first one?
First one was called Rowdy, which is one of the worst cricket books ever written, but I got improved. It was supposed to be an autobiography, but I didn't talk much about myself. Apparently that's what you're supposed to do. Anyway, but I've written them. And not all cricket books. I wrote one on the Doctor, Dr. Beard, the Diggers Doctor, wrote one on a group of Aborigines that came through with flying colours, the boys from St. Prat's, the 1868 Aboriginal tour of England, which was a lot of research in that book, and cricket biographies, Chappelli and Tomo and Dougie Walters. At the moment, I'm doing one on Neil Harvey, which is fantastic because he was a hero of mine when he played, and then he became a good friend early 2000s, and now he's a very good friend and my hero still.
That's fantastic, mate. Just going back to the Aboriginal one, they just announced an award at the Boxing Day Test for Mullake?
Yes, Johnny Muller.
Johnny Muller. Was he on that? He was on that tour?
Oh, yeah. He was one of the main players. He came from the Wimmera area of Victoria, played for Harrow. He was an all-rounder, bowled medium pace, got over 200 wickets on the tour. They played 47 two-day games. They won 14 and lost 14, and they had the better of 19 draws. So two-day games is a bit hard to get a result, really. There's one bloke, a fellow named Tuppeny, who, against Longside, he hit a ball so high in there, they ran 9. They ran 9.
Are you serious?
I was fielding it mid-on.
Yeah.
So I didn't go anywhere near the boundary, but it was hit very high in the air. And the fellow at mid-on apparently was a bit slow getting the ball and then retrieving it. Now, that's a record that never be beaten, I wouldn't think.
No, I don't think so.
Ricky Ponting or Don Bravin never did that one. But Muller, he got 1,700 runs, 250 wickets. He got 94 at Lord's, got a gold medal there. They likened him to some of the better players that were playing for England. So he was a pretty good player. And when he came back from England, and I think he played one game for Victoria, and then he was just a net bowler for the MCC members at Melbourne. So it was pretty sad, a lot of these fellas. I mean, he went back to Harrow and played a lot of cricket there.
Mm.
A lot of these fellas just dwindled away. They weren't given an opportunity, really.
Because they were Aboriginal?
Very sad.
Because they were...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They didn't cop a lot of racism in England. One time, a bathhouse owner wouldn't allow them into the bathhouse because he thought they were minors. He said, "You're not coming in here until you wipe all that dirt off you."
Oh, really?
Because people over there never seen black people, so it wasn't racist; it was just ignorance.
Yeah.
So it wasn't racist. They actually hated, and they everywhere they went. But at the games, they had throwing spears, cracking the whip and all that sort of stuff. One bloke was called Dicker. He was the artful dodger. Now, this bloke used to hold the angle, which is like a cricket bat, like a shield, thin shield, and another thing which is like a killer boomerang. So high-flung balls would deflect with the shield thing, and then the low-flung balls would deflect. When I say deflect, he would offer 10 to 1, so that people would pay a shilling to have a shot at him with a cricket ball from 10 paces. Now, he only got hit once in the whole tour, but he made a lot of money. At Lord's, 10 members took off their top hats, took off their coats, and each had a ball, and they threw at once at him and never got through his guard. And then in September, and so this tour started in May, in September, one bloke named Samuel Rich Darby got one through his guard, picked up 10 bob, 10 to 1, just a glancing blow on the shoulder. Now, this bloke, Samuel Richardson, became the county secretary of the Derbyshire County Cricket Club in 1891, years after the 68 tour. Now, Fred Spofforth, from the Ashes fame, he was the bloke who started the Ashes legend. Yep. Yeah, he got 14 wickets and, the death of English cricket and all this sort of stuff. Now, at Lord's, Dicker Dick's Lee Angle is behind the glass at Lord's, and 2 places away is the Ashes urn. And there's a connection between Spofforth and Dicker Dick and Samuel Richardson. Now, Samuel Richardson, he was the county secretary at Derby, and then for a couple of years, Spofforth played for Derby, and he caught Richardson with his hand in the till. Richardson pinched £1,000 and fled to Spain, where he became the court tailor to King Alfonso and lived to the age of 94. Now, I don't know what the moral of that story is, but it's a great link.
Wow,
know,
that is
you know,
amazing.
Yeah.
So there are some terrific links between, and I took a Aboriginal team over, which is a reenactment of the reenactment, if you like, in the year 2001.
Yep.
And we played at Lord's, and we played about 10 games. I rang Lord's before we went over there, and I said to Stephen Green, who was the curator, I said, Stephen, there's a killer boomerang behind the glass at Lord's Museum. And I said, would it be possible, and I explained that I've got these chaps playing at Lord's and they're coming out, for them to have a look at the original, the angle that Dick Attack used, because a couple of these boys are related fellas on the 1868 tour.
Yeah.
And he said, no way in the world anything so valuable will be able to be taken out of behind the glass. And I said, well, I just want them to hold it and get a photo, you know, it'd be fantastic for their families, you know. Anyway, we turn up at the Lord's Museum, and there's a rather large lady there, and she's the deputy to Stephen Green. Stephen's not there for the day. And I explained to her. Oh, she said, of course, until she pulled the thing out. And all the boys had their photos with her.